All right, today I'm going to compare the Sony ZV-E1 to the DJI Pocket 3. This camera does 10-bit 4K 120. This camera does 10-bit 4K 120. And you might be thinking to yourself that the comparison's not fair, the size advantage is too much, but I'm going to do it anyways. And only one of these can be the top vlogging camera. And in this video, I'm going to go over vlogging, low light, and more. Chapters in the description. This is the Pocket 3. This is the Sony ZV-E1. How does it look? We're gonna go outside, and right now we're just gonna stop. How does it look indoors with indoor lighting? You know, might not sound so good because of the echo, but we're gonna head outside. We're gonna see how it is. And you know, it's kind of damp out here, and damp can be a good thing or a bad thing. At my age, it's probably a bad thing. Did I just wet myself? Now, how does it look? Yeah, I think the ZV-E1 should work pretty good here. Dynamic stabilization, and it's bright, nice high shutter speeds, so should look good. And the Pocket 3 always looks good because it's got a gimbal, and gimbals are good, right? I'm just hoping that the jumpiness of the tracking isn't too bad. I'm just trying to walk like a normal person, and the reason why I'm not outside in the public is because, you know, I have some dignity, and this isn't a thing that I do in public. It's not my style. And how does it look with some backlight? Ooh, there you go. Let's just walk around a little bit. And my garden is a bit of a mess. It's my wife's thing. So the Pocket 3, it's a lot lighter. I mean, if I was just going to carry this alone, it'd be a hell of a lot better than carrying this and that. Well, other than that, I mean, how does it look for our walk and talk videos? Let me know in the comments below. Ooh. And you know, one of the good things about the Sony ZV-E1 is that, you know, zoom. But the zoom factor, you know, you have to have a lens, and lenses can get heavy, they can get expensive, and this is f4, so that's the amount of blur you're gonna get back there. It's not a whole lot. The Pocket 3 has a little bit of blur, not a whole lot either. But if you want like massive blur, you need like f2.8 or f1.8. Of course, that's going to cost more. It's going to weigh more, and it's just an endless rabbit hole, really. I mean, is this good enough for you? Is the Pocket 3 good enough? And the D-Log, is it cinematic? Well, it's not cinematic because the shutter speed is too high, but does it look good enough? Let me know in the comments. Next up, we're going to see how active track compares to auto reframing. This is the Osmo Pocket. I'm going to do the framing a little bit lower because I want my whole body in the shot later. And here is the ZV-E1. Its auto framing is on. It looks very wide right now, but we'll crop it in a second. And we're going to do a little vlogging demonstration. And here I'm just showing off my e-bike. This is the Nocto F4. And I have straps right here where I could carry luggage. And right here I have straps. Well, I have clips for whatever I carry, like a bag or a helmet. And another feature I have with this rack is that I have a Velcro system where I can just quick release it and remove the whole thing. So that's it for this mini vlog, and maybe that might be how somebody like that is ready to purchase one of these might be using it. So in my opinion, having the tracking is all well and dandy, but I like having a second camera going. It just makes the shots a little bit more dynamic. The DJI Active Track and Sony Auto Reframing are highly touted features. However, the look that they give are totally different. As you can see, the Sony moves slowly. It moves constantly, like it's trying to figure out things, but the movement is slow and it eases in and it eases out. I think it's quite pleasing. The DJI, it moves kind of abruptly And I mean, its job is to track very well. However, when you're in video, I think it would be better if the movement were less reactive, more subtle, and maybe even a bit lazy in reframing to mimic a person behind the camera. And I think the Sony does it well in this regard. That said, I think this is one of those features where it looks cool on the review. However, not many will be using it. Next up is low light. 18 millimeters, 20 millimeters, just because I want to get it somewhat close. Okay, so we're gonna head up to a really dark spot just to see how it handles. And then after I get through this, then I'll use a what you call dynamic stabilization. So just hold on for that. And this area is really dark, and it is, you know, it's just rained, and it could get slippery, and someone my age falling would be disastrous. Aside from that, how does it look? The ZV-E1 looks way under, so let me pull this up because it can go higher. There we go, 25,600. Sorry. So that's the ISO it's at, and both of them are in their own log formats. The ZV-E1 is at f4. The DJI, I believe, is at f2. Okay, now I got dynamic, and it's cropped in a lot, but you know, I'm on a zoom, so there you go. Ooh, too wide. Let's stay with too wide for a little bit because it looks kind of cool. Yeah, I like that look. But the DJI, it is what it is, a single focal length, and that's not exactly a bad thing. Some people thrive in those environments. I like the zooms. They're nice, they're easy to use, and I'm not too good for it. So here's a really dark spot. Okay, let's go past this. Vlogging in public, not really my thing, but you know, I do it anyways. All right, how does it look so far? Next up, one of the most important aspects of video production is audio. Well, with these big camera systems, you have a lot of vendors already trying to solicit your business by offering audio products, many mics on the system. Sony themselves has a hot shoe shotgun mic. They have a hot shoe wireless. Godox has the hot shoe wireless system. And there's like endless amount of shotgun mics. What DJI did here was added a wireless integrated system. One shot, they perfected the system. I guess the only downside is that it only comes with one mic. And because of that, you're going to have to buy another mic. Well, it comes with one mic with the creator combo, which costs $669. And then you have to buy another mic, which will likely cost another $100. So, I mean, you're buying mics for the big cameras that are a lot of the times reusable. You can use it on different systems. You can use it on different cameras. The odd thing about the DJI is that you're locked into one camera, this mic system. And it can be looked as a downside. But I want to talk about the built-in audio, because I do believe that a lot of these users using the Pocket 3, they're going to be using it with just built-in ambient audio. At arm's length, it does sound great. And it's almost comparable to the ZV-E1, but not quite. The ZV-E1 sounds directional. You know, I could be just setting it wrong in the DJI setup, but this thing has the mics on the side and the back. So if you're holding it forward like this, you're not going to be speaking directly into the mic as opposed to on top of the camera like the ZV-E1. Aside from that, I did notice that with wind reduction on, that the DJI wasn't that effective at reducing wind. It was very noticeable. You'd think that putting on wind muffs, these small little sticky wind muffs on here would be enough. However, because of the way the case closed down right now, it's not possible unless somebody makes a smaller protective shield, and then you can have wind muffs on the outside. That's what I'm waiting for, someone to do that. Maybe Scotty makes things. He YouTuber, entrepreneur that makes a lot of like 3D printed stuff. But ultimately, when it comes to audio and filming outdoors, filming spontaneously within a crowd of people, the ZV-E1 was just more flexible. You can direct the mics, and there's a physical wind muff on it, which does a good job of blocking out the wind, which is going to be your number one enemy. When it comes to usage of the device, both devices are relatively lacking in controls. The ZV-E1 isn't great for a full frame camera compared to the FX3 or A7S III. Those are full featured bodies with dual card slots and a lot of buttons and controls. The ZV-E1 is more limited. However, both of them have a fantastic interface that you can touch to change your settings quickly and effectively. The Pocket 3 has a smaller screen and is still very effective. However, if you have a larger screen like the ZV-E1, you can change settings much quicker. So that's just one of the things about it. But for its size, the Pocket 3 is amazingly good at changing settings, and it offers a lot of controls like full manual controls and ISO range. It's very good. So final thoughts. The ZV-E1 is clearly the better vlogging camera. It's thousands of dollars more, and it should be a better vlogging camera. However, the Pocket 3 gets so close. I mean, it gets very close in image quality. And on top of that, compared to other smaller cameras, which was the reasoning why I went with the Pocket 3, it's going to replace a GoPro. It's going to replace the 360 camera. The image quality from the Pocket 3 is outstanding. But I want to keep your expectations realistic. When I color graded the footage, it did take a lot of effort to develop this LUT, which I will gladly give free. But you can see that there are some flaws in the LUT, and that's because of the skies are kind of nuked out. And so I did my best to tone it down to control it. And when doing that, you can create some halo effects. It's not going to be the full log that you see on an A7S III or FX3 or ZV-E1. The log here is D-Log M. It's not the full washed out log that can really accept a lot of adjustments. It's going to be much better than trying to adjust a file that is already baked in color and reversing it. However, when you're getting to the malleability, I would put it on par, maybe a little bit below the ZV-1. I was able to flex those files more naturally than the Pocket 3. But aside from that, this device is extremely easy to use. And that's one of the biggest points for it. The battery life is great, the operation is fast, and the gimbal is just so smooth. It can create trick shots where the bigger cameras would be a total chore to do. It can create tracking shots that are just amazing. It is so small and concealable that you don't feel awkward using this thing in public. It's almost a toy-like, yet it gives you professional quality results. Anyhow, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. See you in the next one. Take care.